Hello everyone and good afternoon for the very first New York ePrix. Now before the racing gets underway on the streets of Brooklyn, just a stone's throw away from the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty and that amazing New York skyline, we have the Visa eRace. Now, this is how it's worked. Yesterday on Friday, 20 of the Formula E drivers tried to set the fastest qualifying time possible. Now of those 20 drivers, the 8 quickest were selected to compete in the Visa eRace, which is taking place parts today and parts tomorrow. 4 of those drivers are competing today and the other 4 will compete tomorrow. The other 4 competitors today are made up of fans. Now fans have been competing today to set the fastest time, and let's go and have a little chat with some of them because they're over here. Now, Tom Dillman and Alex Lynn are the 2 Formula E racing drivers. In fact, actually, let's have a quick chat with Alex because he achieved, well actually one man only in the history of Formula E has achieved it before, and that is to be on pole position in his debut Formula E race. What a result, what a great start to the day for you, Alex.
I certainly didn't see that one coming, to be honest with you. Yeah, what can I say? I can't believe that I'm going to be starting on pole position in a few hours' time. Yeah, I think we just need to do all our homework, and well, we've already done a lot back at the factory anyway, and just in our preparation for this race, but a little bit more won't hurt, and we're going to try and see what we can do.
Now, it's your first Formula E race, which also means it's your first Visa e-race. What do you think of this?
Well, I think it's the same rules apply. We've got to try and go and win.
Yeah.
That's yeah, we're here to win, so yeah.
Are you a big gamer? Because some of the drivers never play computer games, whereas others are really quite competitive.
Not particularly, but sometimes.
Okay, right. Well, hopefully the practice that you had yesterday will serve you well. Good luck, Alex. Let's have a quick chat with one of the fans here. This is Emerson, who is actually a racing driver already. Let's do a little dance. Emerson, how are you? How does it feel to be racing alongside Tom Dillman and Alex Lynn?
It's a dream come true. I mean, I've been racing for the past 7 years, just trying to get along, get up through the ranks, karts, maybe Formula 4, Formula 3. I want to really show that you can have autism and still perform at a high level. I have autism. I am not afraid to show it, and it's just going to be a great race.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and well done. Yeah, huge round of applause for Emerson there. Well done. Good luck. I think the crowd, you've got the vote of the crowd. They are behind you. Right. I think we are about to go racing on the virtual world on the streets of New York. Here we go.
Thank you, Nikki Shields. So, Emerson, other drivers who have set their times here, you can come and set a time as often as you like. Those of you watching in the crowd, your opportunity could come in tomorrow's e-race. So driving the Renault in the white top next to hero Antonio Felix da Costa is fellow Portuguese Claudio. Chris driving for Mahindra this race. Emerson we've just heard from, and there's a champion's name if ever I heard one. Emerson Fittipaldi, of course, Formula 1 champion. And Westfield in the black top driving the Formula E car. And he is the art director for EA Sports, the guys who designed this game. Now, whether that gives him a fair advantage or an unfair advantage will remain to be seen. Real racing on the streets of New York City. And, of course, the drivers on the same course that Tom Dillman and Alex Lynn have competed in as well. So there is Chris in the Mahindra car. See him on your screens right now. Daniel Abt with a great run to start on the front row. We have, with Alex Lynn and Daniel Abt, we have our front row starters for today's inaugural New York City ePrix. They will be starting at the front of the race for real this afternoon. So those of you who are down in the fan village, make sure that you are trackside by 2 o'clock, by 4 o'clock this afternoon to try and get the best view of proceedings. Well, there's the PR man for the Ab Schaeffler team, Mark Schneider, trying to give some advice. Great view from the onboard on these cars of this demanding New York City track down here by the dockside in Brooklyn. The track designer Spoke to him earlier today saying that it's a little bumpy, a little rough. What did we think? Well, what we thought is it's exactly what we want from a racetrack on a city streets. We want it to be a little bit gnarly, a little bit rough. And particularly when you think about our location here, Brooklyn has got such a heritage of being an industrial heartland for New York City, particularly the dockside area. And I'm sure it exactly is what we're expecting. Looking here at Tom Dillman, and like the real race cars, right foot to accelerate, left foot to brake. Antonio Felix da Costa with his teammate Robin Freens giving advice. Up to you to decide whether that's helpful or not. Antonio doesn't need the words in his ears too much. In the red top, Emerson driving in the Jaguar, already has real racetrack experience as well. Now how much that translates into the game itself remains to be seen. As we heard from Nicky, lots of the drivers really do a lot of this. I know that Antonio Felix da Costa does a lot of sim racing. He's hardly ever off it, and he is leading the race, as you see from his onboard screen. Halfway through, he's our race leader. Coming down to the 8-9 chicane, that's what it looks like. And then speeding around the fastest corner in Formula E. That's what we were told by the engineers. Turn 10 here in Brooklyn is the fastest speed corner that these cars have had in any street circuit anywhere in our 3 seasons of Formula E. So Antonio Felix da Costa putting all his gaming ability to good use. Big stop down at the hairpin. Tom Dillman trying to find his way through in this car. Just a couple of races into his Formula E career. And of course we heard from Alex Lynn as well in his very first day as a racing driver for Formula E. He's been DS Virgin's reserve driver. He has tested the car, but that's at the rolling parkland circuit of Donington Park in the UK, where the teams are predominantly based, where most of the testing happens. That tends not to have concrete walls around it, very much more forgiving. Lap 4 in 3rd position is one of our guests. And this is Westfield, and he's driving the Formula E livery Spark chassis. Got a good run going. It'll be nice and smooth with the inputs, but when you get onto the brakes, mashing that throttle right down to the hairpin. Look at all the lock as well, having to emulate exactly what the race drivers are doing. Big handfuls of lock. Pouring on the speed here, sweeping through the turns. Antonio Felix da Costa still with the advantage. Alex Lynn, beg your pardon, Tom Dillman now up into 2nd position. Emerson, our guest, Westfield, our guest, in 3rd spot on the 5th lap of the race. Heading up to this big, tight right-hander. And then through this sweeping chicane, and now's where the real work comes in. 2nd position right in front of him, and you saw how quickly he closed into the chicane, but that's because he was a little late on the brakes, and that's cost him time, it's cost him distance. Down to the hairpin, big mistake in front, and that's a gimme, he moves up. So Alex Lynn at the far end there. And watch the foot action as well. Modulating brake and throttle together. Not sure that's the quickest way around this circuit. These cars already have a bit of a rear weight bias. Don't want to be trail braking too much into the corner. Final lap for all these drivers. Spare seat if you want to qualify to race in tomorrow's New York City ePrix. Return to the fan village and try and set a quicker lap than anybody else. The fast 4 will go through. Tom Dillman in 3rd position on this last lap, the first ever eRace here in New York City. Antonio Felix da Costa getting plenty of lock in. Mwah, beautiful job. Keeps it away from the walls, doesn't outbrake himself. Oh, and completes the race. Didn't wall it on the final turn. And that's his teammate right behind him, Robin Friens. Friens will hopefully get a chance to race tomorrow and will have to try and at least match what his teammate has done. He can't do better than winning, but you don't want to do worse. If your teammate's won his race, you don't want to be left out in the cold. So all these simulators will be running all day long, and a chance for all of you down there in the fan village to go out and try and set a lap. You're not restricted to just one turn. You may have to queue a little, but you get as many goes as you can find the time to do. So our race winner, Antonio Felix da Costa. All the drivers will be down there shortly as well for driver autographs. Well, let's rejoin Nikki Shields down in the fan village.
Well, congratulations, Antonio. What an achievement. A good way to start the day, winning already.
Well, the day started already and not so well for us, unfortunately. So qualifying on the real car wasn't great, but yeah, good to come here and have some fun with the fans and some other drivers. And yeah, happy with the way that went. Yeah, getting the race ready and all good.
Good. Well, the good news is you actually get a trophy, and I would like to invite the CMO of Visa, Lynn Bigger, up on stage to present you with the award. Congratulations. Well, there we go. Thank you very much. Thank you to both of you. Well, Antonio, at least he goes home with one trophy today. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the Visa eRace. Now, it gives us just a couple of hours before the racing. The first New York ePrix gets underway on the streets of Brooklyn. So do make sure you join us again and tune in. And in the meantime, if you're here watching, the driver autograph is about to get started.